my glass is a long way away from me, so I can live with that.
You can live with that.
You can
We're
live-
live.
We're live. You sure now?
Yes?
You positive?
I'm positive. Hi, guys.
Oh, yes, I can see something. So you're going to get chat on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, how long has it been since we did one of these?
April 2022.
Oh, so not as far as a year and a half.
I said to Jared this morning, I was like, we're doing a live, and that was so locked down. That was like so locked down ago.
That was when you were locked out.
Yeah, and that's all we could do was do live streams. But
The streams.
Peter's.
I'm trying to see if it comes up online. It doesn't.
Well, you might have to refresh.
Oh, there we go.
There
Oh,
you
this
go.
is how to confuse things. Can we get? No, it's not in the screen, so I'm not going to get massive feedback.
Yeah, hopefully not. I don't want you to do that. We don't need to have us in the background.
Well, I was just going to have it there in case you stuffed up.
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't. And we're not going to get
No.
feedback.
It's just weird having it mirrored in the background.
Well, 'cause whenever you look at me, you can see
Yeah,
yourself delayed.
I
I
don't
like
like
it.
I don't.
All right, sorry.
Well, it's going to confuse other people as well.
It's going to confuse other people.
Yeah, I don't like
Well,
it.
can they see it?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm just sitting here. Anyway, so
It's my
a
guy.
couple of disclaimers. We were going to be doing this out of the studio, but we got horrible rainstorms today, and our studio's very loud.
Beautiful summer we're having.
Yeah, it's ridiculously loud. Just a drizzle on the roof. It's sort of like a hailstorm. But now that we've got it up here, we've got dogs and budgies, so we're going to get interrupted. And if my grandson comes home, we'll just work our way through it.
We'll deal with that.
We'll deal with it.
And we're
Cool.
also going to not be doing this for 3 hours like we used to.
No,
No.
no.
So we might call time at. We should have
We'll just see
discussed
how.
this.
No, we'll just see how it goes.
All right.
If there's something interesting, we'll go. But we're normally cooking. We've been cooking and doing other things.
We used to.
We used to.
We haven't done this in a while.
And it didn't give people much of a chance to talk to me while I was cooking, and then
Yes.
I answered more questions once I finished cooking.
Yes. But if you
Or
guys have
cooking
any
it.
questions, please pop them in the chat area and I will read them as they pop up. And we've already got a warning that the current bit rate is lower than the recommended.
Oh, I can't do anything about that.
Because we're up in the hills.
No, we've got faster bit right here than we have at home, at the studio.
Do it? No,
Yes.
no, okay. Well,
So
sorry.
you've put out 1080, haven't you? Not at 4K.
Yeah, I should have.
You should have. Just double check. If you're at 4K, we're in trouble. If you're
No, we're at 1080.
1080. That's fine.
So it's been a while, so we're,
And we've had to change everything too.
yeah.
Because Beck tried to do a quick test yesterday, and everything we had was outdated and doesn't work
And
anymore.
it took me 3 hours to get it to work. So
And
if
one-
anything does go wrong, please let us know if audio or sound, or audio is sound.
Oh, what makes you say that?
But yeah, sorry, we can't do anything about the internet being a bit slow. What other disclaimers did you have?
That was all. Dogs noises, family noises, bird noises. The budgies, I think they're pretty good at the moment. We've got young ones in there now, and we've separated the
You
one
still
that
have
they
the
were
other one
trying to
separated.
kill. Yeah, we've kept separated the one they tried to kept killing.
Poor thing.
And now it just wants to get back in. I think it likes a fight. I don't know. It seemed to get picked on by everybody. Even
Poor
Austin
thing.
picked on it.
Oh my gosh. We
That's
have.
why we called it back. Oh, you've got work to do, have you?
I do. Someone's asked, "How's my baby?" I don't have a
Best
baby.
thing I ever did. Seriously, the very best thing I ever
I
did.
can't believe how many people actually thought I had a baby.
Oh, maybe you need to cut down on your pizza a bit.
We were going to do a really funny thing and get Peter's new granddaughter because she's got this full head of dark
Pitch
hair.
black hair.
So we were going to start a YouTube of me holding
Breastfeeding
her.
her.
Just to stir everyone up and be like, this is my child. But no, I didn't have a baby.
We should have done that. It would have been funny.
No, don't.
I still like it how we still get the odd person, like someone who's coming to a workshop.
I thought, hey, send me a congratulations.
Congratulations.
I
That was
don't have a child.
the
It's-
best thing I ever did. I got to come up with new ones.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
It's fine. DRW Images wants to know, Peter, if you could have photographed any musician, model, actor, etc. that's no longer with us, who would you have wanted to shot?
Who's no longer with us?
Yeah.
Well, Gia, definitely Gia, before she went completely off the planet. She was amazing.
That's a really good movie for anyone who hasn't
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, GIA, it's a really good movie. It's pretty much her real story.
And it's got Angelina Jolie.
I don't think Marilyn Monroe would be like interesting, but I don't know. I think she reminds me too much of someone I know, and I think it would have been I'd get frustrated with that. I don't know if I could shoot them back in their day. There's so many people. There's so many amazing people that are around. Like, I would love to have shot Jimi Hendrix. I'd love to have shot Prince.
Prince is pretty cool.
Michael Hutchinson. Sorry, all the 27 Club, pretty much. Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse, because they all had this incredible soul, and all of them I would have loved to have. In fact, I would have loved to photograph them all together. There you go.
That would have been cool.
Would have been the most famous picture ever.
Would have been.
It'd be hard to do. Some of them would have been in nappies. Well, because they died at all different years.
Oh. I didn't know where you were going with that. David would like to know, Peter, what are your favourite colour and black and white films for portraiture?
All right, so I have got a fair few new tutorials coming out about this.
You spent a lot of time and a lot of money on it.
I've spent too much friggin' money, and it came up with a conclusion, and people on Inspire have already seen the first start of my conclusion. But look, I've always liked Tri-X, but it is very grainy and contrasty, but that's what I liked about it. It was so different to digital. I don't know, there's quite a few of the films, there's so many different films, and they've got characters I like of a lot of them. So, you know, Delta 100, you've got Tri-X and you've got T-Max, and you've got two different feels about them, and depending on if you push or pull them, they give you a different look again. Definitely in colour now. So right now in colour, I would say my favourite colour at the moment's Portra 400. I don't mind the less grain of Portra 160, but Portra 400, if I'm going to shoot film, I want some grain. That's a whole reason I'm going to shoot and spend ridiculous amounts of money and ridiculous amounts of time. But I have got some cheats coming up to show people what I'm doing. When I was working commercially, shooting positive, which is slide film or trannies, I used to love Provia and Velvia, but that was more landscape and fishing and stuff like that. I don't think I wouldn't be using them on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ecta 100's not bad. It's a little bit, it's nice converted to black and white, but that's another story. But, like, sorry to be a teaser, but I do have a lot of tutorials lined up that we haven't quite recorded yet, because I'm waiting for some more film to be developed so I can scan it and then show everyone exactly what I mean. But the people on Inspire have got a taste of it with our very latest one, where they're seeing where I'm going with this, and it's sort of opening eyes up to people who, I don't know, film is getting ridiculously expensive. It's getting like too expensive. And even Beck made a comment on one shit, like, all this time, and I've had 2 or 3 complete dud rolls because a Hasselblad back had a jam in it.
But even for me as a model, like, it's frustrating how long it takes. Like, just sitting there waiting for, like, to load in the film, and then, like, getting the, and then, like, having to, like, sit there, and it's frustrating. Like, digital is just quicker, and
Yeah, I know. No,
I start to lose my mojo if I'm just sitting there waiting for you to fluff around sorting out your stuff with film. So I find it frustrating personally.
You're giving away some of the stuff for the future, but she's heading down the right line.
Sorry.
I think I've got 2,000 film images over that I shot last year, and I seriously believe I didn't take what I would say is an amazing photo, and it's 2,000 frames.
Okay.
Whereas every shoot that I spend maybe 2 or 3 hours, I'll get a photo that I absolutely love. I don't think I achieved. I got some photos I like, but again, I don't know if I like it because of the film grain and the film effect rather than, because me, it's the person's everything. Everything else is like what camera you shot on and what you do is everything else is secondary. But anyway, that's my thing. And yes, I have got. I think I've got 4 half-finished tutorials, and I'm just waiting for that film to
Come back.
well, at the studio that I haven't sent off to be processed.
I like the Polaroid though. The Polaroid looks cool.
Polaroid's fun though. I only ever take 1 frame from each shoot.
Yeah, I like.
And that's that thing that it doesn't matter if you're partly squinting or something stupid. It's just that feel of the Polaroid. Yeah.
I like my. I don't use my Polaroid enough. There's lots of people. I'm surprised there's lots of people joining us from Europe.
All right, but you're a bit slow. You've got, look at all these things you haven't answered.
They're not questions.
Oh, I thought they were all questions.
No, they're not questions. I'm trying
so
to.
I've only had 1 question.
No, we've had a couple. I'm just. Have you tried the Kodak Eastman XX?
No. Sorry. Again, film was really expensive, and by the time you run a roll through, and I don't know, you've got to shoot. You get used to certain films and you know what to do with them. So with my Tri-X, I always try and push it by a stop. Not as in push-pull, as in I'll overexpose it by a stop because I feel it just tames the grain down a little bit. And that's one benefit, and this is what people who haven't worked in film don't understand, that you can pretty much push most film 3 stops without overexposing.
What are your thoughts on AI in editing software?
I don't like. I don't mind it so much if it's for removing backgrounds and things like that. But as soon as it comes to skin retouching, sorry, disgusting. And more, and it's amazing that I reckon in the last year I've brought my skin retouching down to 50% less than what I used to do, and Beck's not complaining. So. Well, the world is. The really, really high-end fashion magazines, some of them are doing stuff that doesn't feel retouched at all. It's getting back to what it should be.
Yeah, no, I must admit, I used to like the whole plastic look, but I'm more and more just preferring it to look like real skin, but like good real skin, not just like a smooth, blurred mess.
But you're not interested in looking like that crappy computer looked over sharpened. Every single pore is exactly the same. There's no detail.
I don't want to see pores though.
You don't want to see pores.
Show me my pores. My back pores.
Your back pores. Yeah, but AI, look, there's uses for AI. There's a few things I wish they would get slightly better. I still feel that the healing tool could be made a heap better, but I think it needs a photographer to go in there who doesn't want the overlook to work with some of the technicians to just say, hey, yeah, no, yes, no, yes. But I only use the healing tool for anything that's really thin, really small, really black, or really white. I don't use it for any other reason.
Yeah. Now it is the massive tower/tripod you have at the studio. That's a camera stand.
Yeah, it's called camera stand, and you can, if you just go onto YouTube and look up tutorials on people like David Bailey or Duffy and some of the famous 1960s fashion shooters, they've all got them in their studios back in the 60s.
He's just asking because he's trying to find one.
Oh, fine. Yeah, well, this is what I was trying to get to. Unfortunately, they're not something you can cart around, so it's only a studio piece, and less studios are around today, so less and less companies are selling them because people just using tripods. But once you've used a camera stand, you never want to use a tripod again.
Yeah, they do, because tripods
you just
get
one finger up and down, whereas I've got to undo all these things, slide it a bit.
It's irritating. Oh, well, David has said that he's just had his 4th heart surgery and that this is a good start to his recovery. So I hope your recovery goes well. That sounds pretty scary.
I got born with 1 heart. He's well, yeah. Well, one good thing, David, my dad had his first triple bypass at 44. He had another one at about 60 odd, which was a 4-way bypass, and they really struggled to bring him back during the operation. Then at about 72 is told you need another one, but said we can't do it because you won't live through it. And he died of dementia, not heart disease. So they kept him going through 85 without another one. So hopefully, I think as technology gets better.
Yeah. It's negative 30 degrees in Canada. That does not sound fun. But what would your thoughts be on using a wide-angle lens on shooting landscapes?
Yeah, I used to only use wide angle on landscapes.
When you shot
when I was shooting fishing and that, the lens has pretty much stayed on I had two cameras. One lens had the 16 to 35. The other camera had a 70 to 200. So everything to do with the fisherman was always on the wide. Anything to do with trying to catch the fish jumping or catching the fish striking the lure or the fly was on the longer lens. So. But yeah, whenever I shot landscape, I always was the widest that I had. But my widest lens was 16, where I've got a 24 from the Hasselblad, and that's amazing. I love that, but only for landscape.
Not for people's?
I've used it once or twice on fashion. It's cool and funky, but it's like just a...
Roger would like to know, what's your favourite black and white developer solution, especially with Tri-X?
Don't do that. I have a whole kit and everything at the studio. I was going to teach Beck how to do it. There's something in chemicals that give me migraines.
And you remembered I'm bad at math.
So when I was growing up at school, I had all these mates who were really shit at taking photos, but they loved the darkroom, and I couldn't do the darkroom. I just got massive migraines in no time. So they used to do all my work. So that side of things, I work with other people who do. Like when I used to, because I haven't shot film like professionally since I got out of the magazine work, the fishing and lifestyle magazine work. All my magazine work for fashion was always shot on digital. And my last 2 years of lifestyle was shot on digital. But now I just go into people like Van Bars and that, and I talk to them, and they give me. But I got a full kit because I was going to get Beck to do it, teach her how to do it. Then realise that her mathematics is not quite as good as her looks. So.
Thank you. I did fail year 9 math. I'm really not good at maths. When you shoot Ilford HPS plus 400, do you expose it at 320 ISO or 400?
I got into the 320 or 400. I'd 400. Most of, the whole push and pull with ISO and things like that. If I was running my own darkroom where I could experiment, I would do that. I tend to learn my film by the shots I've taken and then decide how I'm going to shoot that film. And because with digital, you've got to be more accurate with exposure than with film. I would decide that, like I said, Tri-X, I tend to push it a stop. So if I was shooting happily at, let's say f8, I might drop it down to 5.6 and shoot it with Tri-X to get take some of the coarseness off the grain. But that's just that was me playing around, and as Beck knows, I've been playing around for the whole of 2023, getting each of the film looks the way I want it to. And then once I got to that, then I made my decision about film, which is coming soon. Sorry to keep you stringing on, but I'd rather finish these couple of tutorials, which will have very strong conclusions at the end. I haven't come to that final conclusion. Anyway.
Carlos would like to know when using shadow and highlight warnings, what are the recommended values for each?
All right, so in Lightroom, ignore it. It's useless. They just don't work. They only go off once you hit 100% in all 3 channels. So they're useless. When I'm on my camera, so if I'm on Leica, I've set my Leica at 245 for the highlights. When I'm using my Hasselblad in the software in Hasselblad, I'm 245 for highlights, and I'm around 14, 15 for the shadows. If I'm on Capture One, I'm the same numbers. So I'm pretty much running at that. For a little bit though, when I was I was doing something recently and I thought I'd dropped my Leica down to 242. I just felt I needed a fraction more headroom with the Leica. But yeah, I just found that, I don't know, I was more comfortable editing later if I just had that little bit more headroom. Yeah.
I just got scared because I looked at. I'm used to seeing the screen on the camera.
And
When we're doing it, it's black and I freaked out.
I think it's turned off. Oh, our recording's not working anymore.
Don't do this to me.
It's well, can't have the screen on. The
I know. I just got really scared for a second. Anyway, I'm derailing. Sorry. Ed would like to know if we can see the Beck pause on the only farts.
On the only farts?
Potentially.
Yeah, no, we'll get in there. Beck doesn't know. I've got all these hidden cameras for that. Well, it's hidden microphones.
Chris would like to know, do you still prefer the SL2 over the SL2S for most of your work, and do you think the SL3 might be an improvement?
Well, I'm hoping the SL3 should be an improvement. The SL, I think, for how I'm using the cameras, the SL2S is my more preferred camera. The ISO is better. The colour science, there is a slight colour science difference between the two, but because I'm always black and white, it's not having that sort of noticeable difference. You can shoot a bit quicker, so the files are smaller, but the files are small, so everything in your system runs better. I'm happy with 24 megapixels. It's more than enough for anything I ever use commercially or whatever. I can times that by 4 without seeing any change in the quality of the picture. So, 24 by 4, that's how many I can blow it up to. The two things where the SL, maybe if I was shooting landscape and wanted to crop stuff heavier, or if I was shooting anything need to crop stuff heavier, because I don't really crop, so 24 is not a problem with me. But if I needed to crop here, I'd be going with the SL. And the video, we got more room to move on the SL and waves. On SL2, as soon as you change the slightest things to do with your output, all of a sudden it crops it into APS-C. And I absolutely hate that, and I wish I knew this because, although I wish I knew what I knew today, because I would have bought the SL2S, would have been the first camera I bought. And then if I felt like I needed the video, then I would have bought the SL2. So yeah, but I did bought it the other way. I bought the SL2S based on seeing a YouTube video that lied to me. Because they pointed out all this amazing capturing in ProRes and all this stuff. And then when I found out, oh yes, but it's going to be cropped into APS-C and I don't want to be...
APS-C?
Well, I don't want to lose that depth of field. The whole idea of shooting on a full frame is to get that depth of field, and then me shooting fully wide open to get that even tiny depth of frame is why I am using the Leica to do any of my videos rather than the Sony.
Fair. What are your top 3 photography books?
Oh.
The shame we're not at the studio because we'd be doing this from...
Oh, I could run up and grab them.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Sumo would be my #1 book, which is Helmut Newton's big book by far. I love that. Do I like my son or daughter better? No, I can't do this because it depends. Kate Moss, the Kate Moss book that was shot by Mario, absolutely love that. It's just called Kate, and it's all the unpublished photos from his 1 month with her shooting for the Obsession campaign. It's like, I'm obsessed a bit with Kate Moss.
And just a bit.
Just a bit. And it's just that part in her life and the look she had in the photo, there's just something about it. And the whole reason, because it's so nothing light, the lighting is just nothing. Everything's nothing, but they still managed to create these incredible pictures. Then I got my Valentino, 45 Years of Valentino, I think it's called, which is a big paperback, but I use that for lighting of fabrics for fashion. So that's only, the whole book is just 45 years of Valentino gowns on a mannequin with 1 or 2 lights, and how much I learnt about lighting film, lighting fashion from that book. It's not that easy to get, and in some parts of the world it's super expensive. I think I paid $19 for mine.
I
I've
found
seen
it on
it.
Amazon for not that much money.
Now, for a while it went really like 2,000 and 3,000,
Oh, it's
but
not
they
at the
must have
moment.
gone reprint or something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've got heaps of books. Like Beck goes up there every now and then and gets lost in them.
I do. I love them. David is saying wine at 11 a.m. Well, I'm pretending I'm in New York where it is 7 p.m. It's acceptable. Well, I've eaten it today. I'm allowed to drink. Anyway. Andrew would like to know if there are any new portrait photographers that you feel are innovating.
I don't get much time to look. So I'm not being rude, I'm so busy, and I'm not feeling the need to be inspired by other people. Whereas I used to need that inspiration to get my ass off, out of a seat or behind a computer and get out and shoot and create. I don't have that. I've got enough projects and things like that on my head that inspires me. So I'm not purposely going around looking for people. And I don't know, a lot of the way the world is at the moment is a bit hard because you do something innovative and cool, all of a sudden you're being cancelled. So everyone's been super careful with what they put out. And then finding platforms that you can actually put that stuff out, and then for people to be able to find you on those platforms is really, really hard. The fashion industry, I'm just finding, I don't know, I'm still finding fashion industry so boring at the moment because they're so woke. But there's a YouTube channel which I donated $20 to yesterday. Well, I could see he doesn't have a lot of followers, and Beck knows I was happy to pay for what I got out of those 5 or 6 videos I watched of his. And it's the Model Mew?
No, his name is a Model Gene.
A Model Gene, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so a Model Gene, I'm really enjoying his work because it's actually, he's a bit bitchy with what he says, but that's what fashion is. You're allowed to be like that, like Joan Collins. I love Joan Collins for that reason.
Joan Rivers.
Oh, Rivers, sorry. No, Joan Rivers.
You and name.
Leave me alone. I haven't had a red wine yet.
You've got Baileys.
It's not Bailey's.
Yes, it is.
No, it's chocolate milk.
Chocolate. Yeah, right.
I don't.
It's Baileys. I know.
It's not Bailey's. I made it.
But your homemade Baileys. It's the same thing. It's tasty though. Stephen would like to know: will we come back to Chicago? Would it be a different city in America? We haven't decided on where we're going in America just yet. We're still in the process of. We need to book Europe tickets actually. I don't want the.
Well, we've been waiting for something.
Yeah, I know. But
yeah, that's sort of another week. We should be able to book our Europe.
Announcing Europe dates. Well, that'll be up if anyone wants to come to Europe workshops. They will be up within. I'm going to say
within
the
a
next.
month.
Within a month? No way. I want to get them up in like a week.
All right. Well, you need to sort out the other thing.
I will.
All right.
I'll sort it. I'd rather get it. I'd rather give people notice. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. With America, the only thing, from where we sit in Australia, it's sort of like we see the worst about cities.
Yeah, we just see what the news
We only
puts
see the
out.
really
Everyone knows what
bad
the media
stuff.
is like.
And I don't want my cameras stolen off me. I don't want to be,
Yeah.
but I don't also want to be in a position that's unsafe for the people coming to workshops.
Of course.
New York, we know all that was lies because we felt comfortable in New York.
Fine. I actually felt safer there than I have previously.
Yeah.
I've always felt kind of safe in New York. But
LA, there's parts of LA that
you just don't go to.
you just don't go to. But even the parts, still don't feel super comfortable in LA.
Yeah, no, I get a little bit. I feel safer in New York than I do in LA.
Yeah, Austin,
I feel safe.
yeah, no, Austin I feel real safe, and we don't have guns. If we had guns, it'd be even safer. But Eatonton, I felt really safe.
I felt
there.
very safe there. But no, I don't know, like Chicago. We haven't decided, but
We haven't decided yet.
we might try somewhere new. Though we might try somewhere that we haven't actually been before. I don't know where, but we'll try somewhere. Cause we did Eatonton this year, and we'd never been there before, and that went really well.
That went really well. Sold out really quick, and we had a lot of fun.
Well, yeah. Hey.
Oh, my dog wants a pat. So yeah, Beck and I have worked out. We need to within about a month work out our dates for America. We've got to get in and out before the elections, though.
Yes. Eric would like to know, have you added heaters to your studio, or have you thought about moving to a newer space?
No, we've got our orange lights.
Our orange lights. That was the cutest thing when we first started doing YouTube.
We still get it.
Do we?
I still get messages.
Oh, I haven't seen one in a while.
Want to know what the orange light is.
Oh, I haven't seen one in a while. Maybe because
The studio, even in the coldest day in winter, once you've got one of those heaters, you're fine. It's like you get cold pockets in the studio.
Yeah, you just don't leave the heater.
You just don't leave the heater. I know
It's harder to cool the studio down than it is to heat it up. Like yesterday was a 30-degree day, and it felt like it was like a 40-degree.
We had a high humidity though, so
it was just so sticky and so hot. And it's just so hard because it's a big warehouse. It's hard to get any kind of airflow in there. Remember 5-day workshop a couple years back? It was stinking hot, and because we've got like a bunch of photographers and a bunch of models, everyone was dying, so we had to open up the exit door and the main door and put two fans to create some kind of airflow. It was just,
one fan blowing out the door, the other one blowing in to get...
but you're not planning on moving to a newer space, are you?
No, it's just all the cost of moving would be horrendous.
Yeah. And
I'd lose a month.
And also it's just your space, you know how to work it, you know where the light is and stuff.
And that natural light I have in here is to die for.
It is. Workshop in US this year, preferably in California. You more than likely.
There's more likely,
Yeah, we'll most likely be doing. Although I don't know, I've been thinking maybe we should try somewhere other than LA. But LA is like central and it's easy for us to fly in and out of because there's a direct flight from Melbourne to LA.
Yeah.
Do you ever struggle with your glasses when using the viewfinder?
Yes.
I'm considering getting eye surgery because it kills me.
Problem with the eye surgery, in Australia we have this dodgy company called Medivic. Don't sue me. But yeah, you go in there and they're supposed to have laser surgery, and you go in there and they then talk you into having lenses, and then they tell you, oh yeah, you'll get a blue cast off the lens. Well, working in the fashion, I can't have any colour casts. I also heard recently on one of the podcasts I listened to, there was 3 or 4 people who had had eye surgery, and within about 3 years their eyes started deteriorating. So it's a lot of expense just for 3 years. With the modern cameras, there's no problem at all, because we've got diopters on there that we can just change for our eyes, because I don't normally shoot with glasses on. With the film cameras, this is going to go also with my film rants coming up soon. I am finding it very hard trying to work out what I spent way too much money on my Hasselblad on the focusing screen to try and be able to focus better, and I've just realised that if I had young eyes, it's not a problem. We're trying to do it with glasses, so maybe eye surgery would make it better for that, but at the end of the day, it's not my workhorse. The Mamiya I find easier to focus. The M3 and my Canon are frustrating. I have to keep double checking because I keep feeling that I'm not hitting the focus right, even though I've got the split screen and Beck only has one nose. I still feel like...
Oh, I don't. I have 2.
No, that's nostrils. You only have one nose. You have 2 nostrils. So yeah, the glass, unless you got older, the glasses, it just gets... I have 3 pairs of glasses. I have the ones I've got on now, which I can see. I can use this to drive for and things, but I can't edit with them. So I've got another set of glasses, which... These glasses here are fixed lens, which is my hand to the screen. So it's whenever I go into the optometrist, he always does the distance and the close, and then he has one eyes measured. We measure the distance I want. Then I have another pair sitting here. So what have I got these ones for?
For seeing close?
No, these ones are really, really good because I haven't had them redone, and it just makes Beck's skin look so beautiful and blurry. No, these ones are so I can watch TV with my head on an angle. Well, they're just long distance. That's all they are. So I can lay like that. Whereas if I do that with this, I get slightly blurry lines.
An angle.
So you watch TV dead straight. You don't lay on.
I get with double. I slump back in the couch and get a double chin.
So what about if you're with Jared? You don't put your head on his shoulder.
Well, sometimes I guess.
Right. So if you've got multifocals, you put your head on the shoulder, half the screen goes blurry.
Oh.
Oh,
Interesting.
so I'm fussy about that. If I'm going to watch a movie, I want to be able to see
everything.
the whole screen, not have blurry patches.
Oh, fussy about everything. Is that an enlarger beside back, or is it a copy stand?
It's my digital scanning stand. So
Don't knock
Sure.
my wine.
you need to move forward, otherwise I'll pop them back out. Right, so I'm not going to lift over closer, but if I... Is that in view?
Maybe.
No, well, you're looking at the screen. Oh,
It's
slow to come.
delayed. There we go.
So, oh, no, you're
sorry,
in the way. I'll just bring it over this way.
Oh,
no,
no.
don't you come this way. You stay there. Yeah, so they can see
There
that.
we go.
So, yeah, this is my Sony A1. It's a macro lens. Down here I have a light, which then sits on, there's a riser that sits on top of that, and there's a film dust cleaner thing there which sits on top. Then that's my 120 film cartridge, and once you feed it through, you can just wind it through. So it's pretty much wind, click, wind, or I click off the computer because I've normally got it tethered into the computer, and it just makes it really quick. I can, once, I'd say a roll of film scanned in takes me maybe two minutes now. It takes a little bit just to get it. Once it gets in there, I go while click, well, so roll click.
Can you cover the nudity up, please?
It's a cartoon, it's a drawing. Oh my God.
You know what YouTube's like.
You're allowed to have art.
Well,
Will you tell me when I've got it covered? If I covered it.
yep.
Right,
Thanks.
shut up.
I don't want it to
So yes, that
offend YouTube.
I had a Ecamm drum scanner, and it would take 3 to 5 minutes per scan. Each, not a whole roll of film.
I'm telling you,
I
it's too
got a Epson flatbed up the top again. It takes so long to scan things in. It's just
This is quick.
I can do it so much. I can sit down in an hour. I can punch out maybe 20 or 30 rolls of all different sizes.
Chris would like to know, when are we coming to Italy this year? And he has a good wine cellar. That
We are coming to Italy.
we are
this
coming
year.
to Italy, and I like
Do you
wine.
know roughly what date it was?
It's in June.
June.
I can't remember exactly what
We're
day.
going to Milan, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to do Milan because we didn't do Italy last year, and everyone was very upset. But we gave it a year's break, and we will be back for me to eat my body weight in pizza and drink my body weight in wine.
Drink double your body weight.
How long have we been working together, and how did we get connected? I've been Peter's personal assistant for 6 years next month. Too long. But we've been shooting since I was 17, 18.
I think the first shoot you hadn't quite turned 18, because it was just before Christmas, I think. So your birthday is Jan.
So that would have been like 14 years. That's weird.
It's super weird.
That's so crazy. Like, that's kind of scary.
I've got to
actually.
release those pictures too. I had to do all my hard drives, re-back up all my backup drives, and I did come across the very first shoot. And I even questioned, is that back? She had brown hair. Your eyes look the same, but nothing else looked the same. But yes, I've got to get some photos out. Beck hasn't even seen them.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, she's terrified.
I'm so scared.
I'm saving. Oh shit! Might just get them printed life size.
No.
And when we travel, we can just roll them out at every workshop.
But we met because Peter was working with a amazing makeup artist, special effects artist, Lizzy Sharp, and she was a teacher at a makeup school that my sister was going to, and they got talking, and then my sister mentioned to Lizzy, my sister Beck, she's a model, blah, 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 and then Lizzy's like, oh, well, I know this great photographer, how about we do a shoot, you're a great hairdresser, I can do the makeup, Beck can model, and Peter can shoot it, and we'll all collaborate. So we did that shoot, and then that's how I first met Peter. and then we
I
clicked.
made a mistake of saying, gee, that was an expensive mistake.
So we did a bunch of shoots together, and then Peter decided he hated me and he didn't want to shoot with me anymore, so we didn't shoot for a few years. And then he posted a status on Facebook saying he's looking for a new assistant, and I was like,
No, I needed an assistant for my assistant that wasn't doing her job.
well, the ad just said looking for a new assistant.
Assistant.
I didn't know that. Anyway, and I was like, hey, well, I'd weirdly said that I wanted to be your assistant like a few days beforehand. It was so scary, and then that ad went up. So I just applied because of a Facebook ad, and nearly 6 years later, here we are. Long story. That's
I've
the
always
short.
said you're always entitled to make one mistake in your life. I've made two.
Oh my god, we've fallen very behind.
Yeah, come on, get onto your.
I'm sorry.
All these people have asked a question, you just ignore
Well,
them.
I'm not ignoring them. You're rambling about your little scanning thingy.
So I answered a question.
I know you like vintage lenses. Have you tried the Carl Zeiss Jenna Tessa 52.8 for portraits?
I haven't. I know the lens, it's a beautiful lens. I've got a couple of rants coming up soon about what I learned from 2023, and one of them is gear is just gear, and we've got to stop doing that. And I got a really interesting one I'm working on at the moment, which is really funny. There's all these different lenses and all, and you just said, really what difference did any of these lenses make? All these pictures are beautiful, but they're so different, the lenses I use and the f-stops and everything, that it really came down to the subject is the most important thing, and the comfortability you are with the gear you're working with. So I have got so much more comfortable since last year. I spent a lot of it last year trying to get back to what I used to be before I bought a Sony, which was I had gear that I loved and just used that, didn't worry about anything else. Once I bought a Sony, all of a sudden started buying all these different lenses, Otis's and antique lenses, all these different, and it just, every time I went out, I didn't know which lens to take with me, so I took 5 or 6. Then when I was out there shooting, I was tossing up, oh, I want a super shallow, and I don't believe that's the right thing to do. I think now my Hasselblad H6 with my 80 or 100, and I'm falling more for my 80 because it's not quite as sharp as 100. I'm really happy with that, and the Leica with my Antique 70 or my Antique 50 I'm happy with, and that's pretty much me done.
You done? Would you be interested in showing how to get similar editing results with an open source software stack, Darktable and GIMP?
The Darktable I don't think works on Apple.
Oh, well then you can't use it because you don't use it.
And I've had lots of people trying to throw me Darktable. I don't do the filters thing. If you watch how I edit, I'm dodging and burning. As 90% of my editing is fine dodging and burning at 1% flow on a super soft brush. And that's how I work. And none of all these programs want to bring this AI shit in. I don't care if it takes me an hour to edit this picture. If I was a painter, I might spend 6 months on that painting.
Yeah.
The big difference is also a lot of my work is hero shot. The whole shoot is for one picture, and that's how I've been employed. Every now and then I'll do, if I'm doing stuff I do as a blog, which show people a whole heap of picture, the retouching's down to 2 or 3 minutes max on each picture. But when I'm doing a hero, which is a campaign shot or a hero shot for a company or a band cover or a magazine cover, we're shooting for that one picture. And I don't care if I have to spend 4 hours on the retouching at 1% dodge and burn to get that picture finished. So I might sound bitchy on this, but I just find that if you want to be able to punch out heaps of pictures, it's going to be cooker cutter crap. Which means if you can do it really quick and other people are going to quick, you're not going to look like your own work. When it comes down to working your dodge and burn brushes like an artist, your work is going to have a look to it that nobody else has done. You're not prepared to spend 2 hours dodging and burning. And yeah, it's not bitchy, it's just, but also love unretouched work.
Such a bitch.
Such a bitch.
Do you know the Southern River Band? Should do a shoot with the singer who is a wild one as well as a live concert shoot. I have not personally heard of them.
No, I don't know them either.
We could look them up afterwards
We
though.
can.
Is Profoto still your favourite strobe equipment?
They were never my favourite. I have Profoto and Broncolor. So when it comes, no, well, they were never my favourite.
First you bitch about the editing, now it's the lighting. They were never my favourite.
If with anything, if I say to people, they're talking about buying Profoto or Broncolor over Godox or those others, and I just say to them, if you can't see the difference, don't buy the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're just wasting your money. But with some, especially my earlier commercial work, we had to be so fussy with lighting and colour and things like that. That's why I like the Broncolor and the packs, the Scoro packs. They were like $15,000 just for the pack, and that's why I used Broncolor. When it comes to portable strobes, the Broncolors are way too heavy. I'm not as big a fan. Love the Profoto. The Profoto on camera flashes are great. So I like both of them, but I'm seriously looking at a Godox. I don't know what it's called. It's a big flat, like 1200 by 1200 flat plane LED light. And I'm not even looking at other compares because what I've seen done with that looks like this looks amazing. So I don't know. Profoto and Broncolor are ridiculously expensive, like ridiculously expensive. They are really good, but I would say that 80% of photographers out of there are wasting their money by buying that stuff because they're not punching out 3,000 frames in a session and need it to be perfectly color balanced every single frame for the whole day. Things like that. It really comes down to the gear you're using. If you can't, anything you're using, if you can't see the difference for the cost that you're spending, you shouldn't be spending that money. It's really, everyone wants us to spend money. It's really hard. I've got a big sign right here that says stop buying dumb shit. And most dumb shit is expensive.
It looks like it's raining there. Yes, no, it is raining. That's why we're at Peter's house and not at the studio. Keith, hello Keith, he would like to know when your book will come out and will we have a US distributor for it. We're looking at doing private publishing, is that what it's called? So just wait, we've had a meeting with a printer.
Yep.
We really like the look of their work, so we're just waiting back on a quote and get the wheels in motion. So we're hoping it'll be out by the end of the year, but we're not making any promises.
Not making we are aiming to have it out this year. And one of the big hold-ups is I don't want it printed in China. It's just a me thing. I'm in Australia. Let's find a decent printer in Australia.
Yep.
And all this greenies and all this type of stuff. Yeah, get stuff done within your own country. It's saved from the papers being cut, the trees being cut down in one country, sent to another country, then sent back to here. Have it all done here.
Yeah. So we'll be doing it privately, and we'll probably just have it up for sale, and then you can buy it. We'll just distribute it ourselves.
Yeah, we'll give out the address of the corner Beck will be standing on with it. She might have to do a bit of door to door, but if you've got a street you recommend for her to walk down, we can put that onto a to-do list.
You know, I did door knocking for half a day as a job. I lasted half a day before I said,
Were you
hell
selling
no.
NFTs?
I was not.
You're not doing selling only farts in jars or something.
Trying to get people to sign up for some charity, and people were like, I'm happy to donate. And I'm like, no, it's a monthly, and they're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to donate. And I'm like, you can't do that. It was horror. Anyway, it was hard. The more you know about Beck. For amateur photographers who are familiar with camera use, what is the best camera for indoor and outdoor use?
The one that you like. So it's a cop-out, but you can't ask me that because I'm going to have my favourite camera. And it really depends on what your budget is.
Yeah.
It's sort of...
All right, well, what would your favourites be? Or for
For indoor and outdoor, like is strobe and non-strobe, well, I'm already going to be the Hasselblad H6 and the Leica, right? But if you asked me this 20 years ago, it would have been the Canon.
Yeah.
And if you asked me this 10 years ago, it would have maybe said Hasselblad and Sony, right? But this Canon and Nikon make great cameras. Fuji makes, they all make great cameras. It's
Just which
like
one
a
you
car.
Yeah.
It's which one makes you feel the most comfortable with its menu system, which fits into your budget that you're going to buy. Right? So if someone says, oh, I want to buy a car, what should I buy? Yeah, well, maybe we start at a Ferrari 488 or we can jump into a Lambo or maybe a Porsche. You're going to say, oh, I can't afford any of that. Well, you follow your...
Yeah.
If you're going to ask me the best camera, it might be way out of your budget.
Okay.
Whereas, I don't know, some of the new cameras, the Sony the new Sony Cs, amazing. I just seen the little vlogging camera, which is pretty much a Sony A7s Mark III in this tiny vlogging camera. I can't believe they did that, but it really comes down to your own choice. There is no best. If you want a starting point, you really got to look at first what you can afford. And if you if you don't have any camera gear at all and say, all right, this is how much I can afford, and inside outside's not telling me anything. Are you going to be doing architectural or real estate photography inside and landscape outside, or are you going to be doing street outside? It really comes down to what you want to be shooting as to what I would be saying is the right camera.
Ivan would like to know what's the best lens you have used, speaking of. For what?
Yeah, for what? I don't know. The most expensive lenses I've used.
No,
I've used a lens that
Doesn't mean
was
it's
worth
expensive,
nearly
doesn't mean it's the best.
$100,000, and I hated the pictures, but it was more used for cinematography. I loved the Otis, but they're super heavy. Like, they're really heavy. I love my 70mm on my Leica, but it's soft, but that's why I like it. My Hasselblad, maybe my 100mm f2.2 would be my favourite Hasselblad lens, but I tend to want to shoot on my 80 2.8, which I reckon is a little bit softer, but I actually prefer it. So it really comes down to, it's really hard. I've got 3 shelves full of lenses that I'm so tempted just to sell them all and just have the ones in my bag so I use every day.
Fair. Speaking of lenses, Charlie would like to know, what would you consider the best lens in terms of focal length and aperture for shooting a race? Like, so he said, as he recalls, you're into auto racing. So what would be the best one for shooting a race going to 6 hours at the Glen in June? Primal zoom.
Depends where you can get to on the track. Depends, are you wanting just the cars in there? You want to put the romance of the track in it as well. Like, I've got one of my favourite F1 pictures was shot on a 5.6 friggin' view camera. And they're amazing pictures, which are like, you most likely got to shoot 6 pictures for the day or something. But I don't know, it's 100 to 400, there's some good 100 to 400 lenses. Get in the position of track you're in. I think if I was going to be shooting on track, I think a 100 to 400 sort of lens, which aren't super expensive. I think Sony, Canon, all of them have reasonable ones. Just go with an F4 or one of them. Don't go for the 2.8s. They're just so heavy, and it's only a stop difference or something. So.
Wine is a fruit. It certainly is. My fiance has a laugh. Sometimes he'll say, "What did you have for dinner?" And I'm like, "Fruit salad." And he's like, "You had wine?" I'm like, "Yes, it's fruits. It's mostly grapes, but it was fruit salad." What is the YouTube channel, The Model Gene? He's this guy who does just fashion reviews about covers and talks about models.
Photographers.
Yeah, he just talks about the fashion industry and just does.
Really good, really interesting. If you want to get into fashion, if you just looked at his, I think it was December covers for 2023.
Yep.
If you watch that and go, this is all crap, I don't understand it, don't go into fashion.
Yeah, he's really good. He understands the industry and he just does reviews about all of that. He's awesome.
Yeah, he talks about how the over retouching is, made magazines discussing. I love the bitchiness of the show, but also he's done a special on Helmut Newton, Irving Penn, the one on Gem Award, which I didn't know the whole story, and I was really, really thankful to learn that. I don't know, it's like a breath of fresh air, but it is very much about the high-end fashion industry.
Peter, how do you feel about other photographers copying your ripped jeans look all over Instagram and Facebook?
Well, if you watch the same person we're just talking about, it's really funny. On one of his, the amount of different photographers that ripped off other photographers, like famous photographers ripping off famous photographers' work.
I'm like, you didn't invent ripped jeans.
No, of course I didn't.
Yeah.
I've most likely seen it in a photo shoot and thought that's really
That's cool. I'm gonna, yeah.
There's nothing.
If anything, it's flattering to.
It doesn't upset me at all.
Yeah.
Don't even have a second. The only time I get annoyed is if someone tries to copy one of my pictures. Absolutely perfect. If you don't do it better, don't show it to anybody. Right? Because you shouldn't be doing that anyway in a way that not going to upset me. I get more upset about someone comparing that picture with mine and going, this like try hard or something. To learn photography, it's no different to being a musician. What do we do when we start playing musical instruments? We do covers.
Yeah. So
right?
if you want to learn photography,
and if you do covers bad, everyone compares you against the original. If you then do a twist to the cover, everyone goes, so people go, oh, that's crap compared to, oh, that's really cool. I like this cover version better than the original.
Yeah.
So with that, to me, that's how I look at it. So if you want to try and copy it exactly, a lot of pictures I've taken, the model definitely wasn't holding a pose still. So as soon as you make a model hold the pose to copy it, you'll never get the expression on their face that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I have no problems with it.
Tim is voting that we go to Arizona when we go to. I want to go to Arizona when we go to America.
You're in charge of that.
I know, I'm in charge. I've got friends in Arizona. Seattle. We haven't been. We've had a few requests for Seattle. Maybe we'll try. I don't know. Jane said
if you can get Fred again and Skrillex playing there, we definitely will come. Or even Deadmau5.
Come to Montreal. We've tried Canada before, and we haven't been to. We tried Toronto, but we haven't tried.
Toronto. I've tried like 4 or 5 times. Everyone says it's like New Zealand. Everyone says, come. Oh, I come. Oh, yeah, I can't come that day. And it's more that, it's like it's expensive for us to travel. Most likely we've looked at our prices and we're still cheaper than most of the other people. But it costs so much to travel. The models are expensive, studios are expensive, accommodation is expensive. So our price needs to be a certain level, otherwise we're better off just staying in Australia, even though we love our travelling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's places like Canada, unfortunately, because you've been once, haven't you?
To Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Toronto.
And we cancelled once.
Yeah, we cancelled once, and
we
then
went once, and it was an absolute. It cost us a fortune.
It cost. We didn't make. We actually lost money from going.
Yeah, lost a lot of money. And so before you came on board, we cancelled one. Then we did one. And we did one through 500 pics, but when it was owned by Canada, and that was successful. But 500 pics covered up our costs, and they had a massive circle that pushed it out. And we had there was 100 odd people that turned up to the seminar one. But anyway, yeah, well, I absolutely love the people are so nice in Toronto, especially, and that chicken burger was amazing.
Yeah. I really liked the people were so nice.
Yeah, I love it.
It was so cute, and I'm glad we were there when it was warm, because people are saying that in some places in Canada it's minus 44 at the moment. Hell no. No. where was I? I'm sorry, I'm trying to read through everything we felt. We've fallen really far behind because it's really unlike. Well, because you keep ranting and raving, and now I'm trying to.
Stop talking. Read.
I don't need a helpline. I don't normally drink it before midday or during the week. It's just that we're doing a live stream. Ed just saying, wait, you guys aren't a couple with a laughing face. Of course, no, we get that so often, but oh my God, the girl at BMW the other day was so apologetic.
Oh yeah, that was
She's
funny.
like, I thought that was your dad. I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't care. She kept apologizing to me. I was like, I don't care.
I said to her, I'd rather be called that than what some other people insinuate.
I know.
I don't think my taste was that bad in women.
Here, before you take a shot or a set of shots, do you tilt your camera up and then come back? You tilt your camera up and come back down. Are you setting the focus? What's the split-second process that you do?
Right, so on Hasselblad, we've only got center spot focusing, and if I'm not happy with my manual focus, I'll just quickly go up to the eyes, half depress to get it to focus, drop it back down, and use the back button. I use the back button to focus and drop down and take the picture. And I might take 5 or 6 pictures before I refocus. I'm normally doing that when it's become a habit where I really don't need to refocus, because I'm normally shooting at f8, and doesn't matter if the model can move a bit, but it just got into a habit because of my manual focusing. I don't know. But yeah, it's basically focus, recompose, back button.
Cody just sent us a little $5, which is extremely lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Cody. And he said that he just found us, and he's been looking to getting into some model shots and looking to purchase his first lights. Any recommendations?
Don't spend too much money. There's 2 ways you can go. If you go with Pro Photo, they're going to cost you a fortune. You're not going to get the benefits of what they are, because you don't know what those benefits are. But when you sell them, you'll still get a decent amount of money. If you go with the super, super cheap lights, nobody will buy them secondhand because they know that they'll only click 3 times and blow up. Godox Elinchrom, they're sort of like, they're nice entry type lights to go for. Another thing, if you're just getting started, maybe the LEDs and constant lights are really good to start off playing with, and they're quite cheap. Yeah, what we've got running now.
The one that we've got, which is what's it called?
June
Mollus, and it's only a couple $100, and it's really good for a constant light. They're really powerful.
They've got ones that are, you can run off power and battery and things like that. Yeah, hiring some stuff is normally a good way to start.
And then see what you like.
Yeah, have a play with it. You'll know if it's a real pain in the butt to use. But everything on YouTube, especially, everyone giving reviews and that, they don't own that gear.
They're being paid.
They're being paid, or they've got affiliates. So if they can talk you into buying it through their affiliate, they make money out of it. And I got really annoyed when Hasselblad's last camera came out, and all these people who do not own Hasselblad are doing reviews telling everyone how good it is. And sorry, I'm going to get killed again. It's the worst freaking camera I've ever used.
What?
The
X2D
was like literally the worst. It was sent out or brought out to me at my studio. Within half an hour, I said, I'm not even going to do a review on this. This is like the worst camera I've had in my hand ever. And the old Hasselblad main person selling in Australia quickly ran out because he wasn't working for them anymore. And he said the viewfinder was so much better than anything else he'd had. He liked something else about it, and he said the rest is a joke. And this is a guy who I bought my first Hasselblad off. So that sums it up.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll get off my kicking Hasselblad. Even the H6 best camera in the world, but very hard to buy one.
If you only had one camera and only one lens, which would it be and why?
H6 80mm.
There you go. And why?
Because it's my favourite camera.
Because.
And it's like,
so insightful.
well, I look at people, no, but it is, I can't say but why. You
No,
saw
it's
me
fine.
after we came back from workshops.
No.
And I didn't take, to 2 sets of workshops, I didn't take my H with me. And I was so not
Bummed.
happy. So was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, as much as if mine break, I'm going to be devastated trying to find another one. I haven't been happier since I've jumped back on and mainly shooting on my H6 again.
Going back to editing, do you find when editing a photo that you become so involved you catch yourself over editing and have to start over?
I used to, yeah. Maybe 10, 11, 15 years ago, I used to, I might sit up and edit till 2 in the morning, get up in the morning and look at it and go, what did you do to that?
Or you send me a photo and my nose has been moved all
Oh,
the
that
way.
was, yeah, that was called alcohol. No. No, that was a bump of a freaking...
No, it was funny though.
Yeah.
I was like, what did you do
Yeah.
to my nose?
Oops, I didn't notice that.
But yeah, I find you don't tend to do that anymore.
No.
How do you know when a shot is the shot? Ever tempted to go beyond that hero shot?
Yeah, I've done that plenty of times, especially with Beck. We'll do 5 or 6 shots. Then we'll do our shots, do our setup. We'll just get into it and go bang, bang, and oh my God, this is awesome. Then we'll shoot for another hour and go back.
Go back and choose one of the first.
Oh my God, this is awesome shot. So only we sort of went down from there. That was the fresh shot for that look.
Well,
So
we did that with it was a shot we did a couple years back, and it was for Halloween, and I was on that more like the big wicker chair.
oh yeah.
With Morticia, and you had just finished getting the light and you were like, oh, okay, I'm right to go. And we took a couple frames, and when we went to look at them, the first one was an shot and everything else was like,
Me.
oh man. Whereas that one was just literally the first frame. But you often, I find...
But there's plenty of times you've seen, oh, we got it. We can't do better than this.
And also I find, I like this, you haven't done it forever, but you've recently started doing it, that not even just me, with like other models as well. You go, like you do a batch and then you go and look through the photos, and after looking through them, you'll ask the model, can you do better? And
so yeah, I'm
being
not criticising the model.
yeah, you're asking
I'm just
them
saying,
like,
do you think you
can do better?
this?
Or do you think one of those is the best you can do? And I feel like that really helps. And like, yeah, like I know when like Lottie was at the studio the other week and she went through and you were like, can you do better? She's like, yeah, no, I can. And she was saying what she liked and what she didn't like that she was doing, and she went in and she killed it even more. So I guess it's hard to say, but you just kind of...
Every shoot's different.
Yeah.
If the model going to road rage on the way to the studio, it might take me an hour to get that out of her. Whereas if they came in and they're on a high, we might nail it in the first 3 or 4 frames.
Outside, it looks like quite a jungle. It must be difficult for Beck to be inside with her love of nature. I do like it up in the Dandenong Ranges, but yeah, it's pretty. But yes, it is. We're in a very beautiful part of Melbourne. I love it up here. It's tranquil, but I know I stay inside. Sorry, Peter, the sound is very low. It's difficult to hear.
Sorry, we've
got it turned up to.
we've got plus 24 dB. We're right on the. We're not running any limiters or anything. Maybe I'll look at it next time, and we maybe have to put a limiter and a compressor and a limiter on it. But because we're running a new system,
we haven't done it. This is our first time doing it live.
Yeah,
in a very long time.
Old system we used to use has all been discontinued and doesn't work with any of the software, and I just need to play. I'm just scared that if I run it through my normal sound programs, there might be an out of sync with our voice. So I didn't want to run it through that. So we've got it pretty much coming out of our microphones. We've got it just hitting yellow. I didn't want to go close to red. And we've got our sliders to max. I think, what have we got? 24. We got plus 24 dB gain already put on this. I didn't want to push it much harder than that. But we are running it on a float system through Sennheisers. I'm not sure how much you're into sound stuff, so that could all be goobly gopped. Yeah, sorry. If more people say it needs to be louder, you can up the 24 most likely back. We'll just see how it goes.
Harry would like to know, given the big step in resolution in the last 4 years, do editorial clients care how many megapixels you deliver?
No.
No.
Never had a problem. If we're going to be shooting something for Billboard, I'll always be asked, can you supply this size image? If we're going to be shooting full size for shop window, I know all my sizes that I can get by without any problem. But with the interpolation software we've got now, like I said, you can easily, just with Lightroom, go 4 times the size and not see any difference as long as it's a well-exposed picture.
Stuart would like to know when you're coming to Brisbane to have a beer. We will be there in April. April, yeah.
Yeah, April. There's on all our platforms. We've got our dates, haven't we, for Brisbane?
Yep, we will be there in April. Have you ever used any of the cheaper Zeiss lenses, Batis? Yes. I use a Batis when I'm
Batis is not cheap. Batis are one of my favourite. We've got the whole range of Batis.
I use that on my gimbal.
On our gimbal. Yeah, no, I love Batis lenses. They're actually, I'm really annoyed at Zeiss that they've stopped manufacturing autofocus lenses for mirrorless, but hopefully they get back to it, because those Batises, I still think they're one of the greatest lenses I've got for especially our video work.
I'd love to know more about the RB67 setup and if you're familiar with the 150 SF.
No, I don't know the 150 SF. Sorry. The RB, I'm just running the 127mm lens. It's a camera I've had for a long time. I can't even remember where I got it. And so I've got my 503, which is a proper medium format, and the 6.7, which is basically just giving me that slightly different cropped and square. It's a big, heavy lump of a thing. I could still shoot it out on location, but I find it best in a studio. I rather the RB than the RZs, because the RB is just, there's no batteries, no nothing. It's all mechanical. And buy them at a good price. I don't know, I just really like that camera. There is some tutorials coming up soon. Like I said, and I'm not promoting Inspire, but I've just literally put one up, and I'm really certain on there I showed the difference, the full frame medium format of film, how big a difference it is from 35mm. Like, it's massively different. Whereas with digital medium format, it's only half the difference.
Is it Golden Oak wine that I'm drinking? No, I'm drinking Seba. It is one of my favourite. Is it a single vineyard? Yeah, single vineyard from Adelaide in the Barossa Valley. It's absolutely delicious. They no longer have purple worms, which was my favourite, but this is their Ernest Shiraz, and honestly, I could not speak highly enough of this.
And she's lovely.
Family-owned little private vineyard in Adelaide. It's amazing. Peter, what is your take on generative AI beyond the copyrights discussion? Is there something that excites you?
No.
I am very skinny. Thank you very much. I'm actually wanting to tone up, but I'm glad that you think I need to eat more. I do not. I definitely don't.
I do find it rude, though.
No, I don't care.
No, I mean, as a whole.
I've always been so skinny, though. Like, if I look back at photos when I was a teenager, and I'm like, I remember when people like accused me of having an eating disorder, and now I look back at it and I'm like, yeah, I was really skinny, but I've always just been naturally skinny. It's my
daughter was naturally, and she still is.
It's just my genetics. Both my mum and my dad are bean poles. It's just how I look. But anyways, foresty scenery is gorgeous. Yes, it is. Amazing part of Melbourne. Are you familiar with the Australian sibling band Rumpus Machine?
Nope.
Never heard of
them. I'll have a look afterwards.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Yeah, finding new music's impossible to find these days.
I can find new music. I'm trying to
Sorry, we're really far behind in questions, by the way. What do you think of Rotolight?
Yeah, no problem. Rotolight, I think they're the first of that style of light that I use. So, yeah, they're good gear. A little bit expensive. They used to be much cheaper. What were the next one? Verbesta were the ones we used as well. Was it?
Yeah.
Paragos?
Paragos,
Verbesta, Paragos, yeah.
But they're really, if you, both of them are so close to each other, that I don't see the difference. Again, a lot of this stuff, I know it's not easy, unfortunately, but it'd be really good if there were just rental houses that you could just rent 2 or 3 of these lights and try them for yourself. So then you bought the one that's best suited you, because we all have different tastes. We all have different, like, when I'm out in when I'm anywhere, I don't want to be messing around with complicated menu systems. I want to be able to just have a button does this, a button does this. The last thing I want to be doing is trying to find out, oh shit, how do I turn this on or off? And that's the most important thing for me.
It was the chair.
Yeah, right.
It was the chair, I promise. I don't know if anyone heard it, but it was the chair.
They believe you.
It was.
Next question.
Ian Watson has 2 Godox flashes and needs to find a budget continuous light. Any suggestion? Probably these ones, the Mollis.
The Mollis, or what's the anglerfish?
Anglerfish, yeah. Anglerfish is really good as well.
Yeah, so both if you look up the Mollis ones and the anglerfish are their mains power, but we had never a problem with.
Both are really good.
Both are really good. So
and
yeah.
won't break the bank. Have you ever worked with Phase 1?
Phase 1 gave me a camera for about 3 or 4 weeks to play with. Like it hadn't even been released at the sun, all this crap for it. Lovely camera, but not my style of camera. So it's back when I had it. It's to me, I felt like if I was shooting still life, and maybe architecture and maybe even landscape as well, it would be the camera I would have gone with. Whereas I just find that Hasselblad's got there's a feel to a Hasselblad, and that's the feel I like. It's a little bit like Leica over Sony. I pick up, even though I can put a Leica lens on a Sony, there's just something about the images that pleases my eyes. Because I'm not after razor stupid sharp edge to edge, all of that. I actually want an emotion off a lens, off a camera. I want the camera to feel good in my hand. I want it to feel like an extension of who I am. So I'm not actually thinking about anything about the camera or lens. I'm thinking about my shot. So that's really what I'm looking at. And all the camera companies today make amazing cameras. And this is why I might sound bitchy about this, but look how many cars are out there where nobody's asking me what car they should buy. So it really is. I don't go out and test cameras. Like I have not had the latest Nikon, Canon, Fuji. None of the latest cameras I've had even in my hand. So I couldn't even tell you what they're like. We see lots of people having problems on workshops. So the biggest bitch about Nikon and Canon is don't allow you to have visual aids in your viewfinder to get you better exposure shooting manually, because they want you to shoot auto, because they've got nothing to sell. If you're not using their AI autos, they've got nothing to sell. Once you're on manual, it's the same as a camera that was from 1960.
Yes.
And this is a problem, and that's what a camera should be. Bring it back to basics. It needs to be a camera from 1960s. If my little M3 can take amazing pictures, and that's 1963, where have we come? What have they got to sell?
Exactly.
Everything's autofocus, AI, all that shit. Which, shut up.
No, it's fine.
No, I was going to let you get your catch up.
Perfect. Always find editing when Piss gets great results. Ever edit while sozzled? I think we covered that before. What was that review channel called? It's the Model Gene, the Model Gene, Gene. It's only a new channel. It mightn't be to most people's taste. It is to my taste. It is it's my taste of a proper fashion. It's just bitchy. Fashion's bitchy. It is bitchy. Ira would like to know, do you ever go back and look at a shot from years ago and see it as the wow shot that you missed from them?
all the time.
You've been having that a lot recently.
Yes, going through. Well, the other thing is I found these whole photo shoots that have been misfiled by the previous worker. And it's like, I can't even remember this shoot. And this
But
is
you're
amazing.
finding-
There's a fashion shoot I did with Shay.
Well, there was one
And I
that you
don't think
posted on
Shay can even
Instagram the
remember.
other day, the one on the chair of her.
Yeah.
That's one of my favouriteest photos ever. That was stunning. Is my mic bothering me? It's more, it was coming unstuck, and also I'm wearing a pretty heavy jacket, so I'm just trying to make sure that my jacket isn't covering this so that my sound isn't bad. Do you do photo shoots with outdoor backdrops? Yeah,
No.
sometimes.
Outdoor backdrops.
Like meaning outside?
No, they mean like a backdrop of scenery.
Oh, no.
No, never. Years ago, I tried this scene machine, and yeah, no. If I want the outside backdrop, I'll go outside. If a client wanted me to quote on it, I'd normally say no. There's a couple of shoots I did do, and I think that's why I would say this, because I never felt like, even though I replicated the light as perfect as I can for direction of where the sun was coming, the type of light and that still never felt quite like they were really there.
Yeah.
So I know with some of the still life stuff, Rob Grimm, amazing photographer for things like wine and whiskey and things like that. He used to have go out and shoot his background pictures, then bring them in and set them up behind the bottles. So it looked like it would be in a bar and things like that. He did it so well with that stuff. But for me, I don't know, just, yeah.
Not your thing.
Not my thing.
Where was I? How often? Oh, yeah, that's right. How often do you adjust your pricing, and what goes through your mind when doing that?
Yeah, but we've only recently.
Yeah, we might adjust our price every couple of years.
Yeah.
And pretty much with clients, the long-term clients, we don't even adjust it with them.
We've got a client you've been working with for what, like 10
Well, they're not
years?
on the original rate. But
We've never adjusted the
when
pricing.
Earl first booked me, because he was known to be tight, and he was a Jew, not putting that claim on anybody, but he was known for like screwing you so bad on price. And when I had a meeting with him, I just said, this is my price, and it's a really good price for you. If you want to haggle on the price, I only go up. There's no haggling down. So even if you say, can you do better than that? Yeah, 10% more. That's better for me. And he looked at me, he goes, really? I said, yeah, sorry. I have overheads. I know what I'm worth. I've given you a really good price. I know what you want. And if you don't mention anything about price, I'll never change my price. And he found it so hard not to. So he knew I was serious. If he said, can you do better or something like that, I would up the price. Well, I stuck that price with him for like 5 years, and once he sold the company, the new people got a new price. When they sold the company, the new people got a new price. But that'd still be maybe 30% cheaper than if someone asked me to quote to do that today. But they're so easy to deal with.
Exactly, they are.
Never have to quote. They just turn up, shoot it, invoice.
And recently we did have to increase the day rate when travelling for clients to book us when we're travelling. But what goes through your mind when doing that? Well, it's because the cost of everything has gone up, and so
airfares are like so much.
Airfares, accommodation, it's gone up. So we do budgeting. I look at previous trips, and I look at how much studios, lighting, models, our food, our accommodation, our flight. I look at how much everything costs, and I come with an average per day for us to live overseas, and then we relate that to how much Peter's time's worth. So that's just got to look at your overheads and look at what you need to be able to live, and then yeah I think
I have fixed day rate.
Yeah.
It's just we have an hourly rate, but I'd rather not work by the hour, rather work by the day if I have to, and that's just it fixed. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. That's my rate.
Things that people are suggesting us
please keep in mind I am writing them down. Caesar said he's been struggling with consistency. I think in order to get to the next level, to get better, I need to shoot way more. How do I achieve that?
Well, that is a trick. You just got to find a way of shooting more. I can't. If you want to get a style, you got to shoot more, because your style will come through. To get a consistency, you need to make the mistakes more than once. You need to see what you're looking at. It's hard. I have my storyboard, my mood boards. It was my benchmark of where I wanted to be able to drop my pictures into my storyboards and my folders that I got lots of enjoyment out of looking at these pictures. And while I'm shooting, I'd be looking at the pictures on the back of the camera on my computer screen going, I'm just so off the mark. But eventually, by you training your eyes only looking at work that you love of other people, you're training your eyes to that quality of work from yourself. And you won't be happy with your own pictures till they start lifting the quality. And in our YouTube videos, not quite as much as our Inspire ones because they have to be shorter, but especially in Inspire ones, I will take an extra 20 minutes on one light, just moving it, fine-tuning it, polishing it. That's the difference. So the pictures that I would look at and love had that polished, mine didn't. And I learnt over time is, once I got this, I really like this lighting, now let's polish it. Don't start shooting it there. Now let's make it incredible.
Better. Yeah. Let's turn shit into chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Utopic Dystopia also gave us a super thanks.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you very much.
Do appreciate that.
We really do. And they also said to be careful with the screensaver in case you have a not safe for work image. But have you got the...
Yeah, we've got two different screensavers. One's called YouTube.
One's just the normal
means...
one. So this one is Peter's carefully made sure that there is no...
my normal work, my loved work.
No precious nipples.
So precious.
But thank you for looking out for us. We've learnt this though. How do we get back out into nature? Hire Daft Punk or something. Look, okay, I do go into nature once a year. I go to what we call them as a bush doof, and it's a camping festival. And yes, there is psytrance playing, and it's normally a really good lineup. That is but my tent that I camp in is, I would hardly call it camping. I mean, it's still camping, but it's like a 4-meter canvas tent. I have a coffee table. I have all these fairy lights. I have pillows. That's the only way you're getting me in nature, is pure comfort. Other than that, no, I don't do it.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
I don't do it.
Yeah, my big mistake, trying to photograph Beck looking comfortable in nature, forget it.
No, I need a box of wine and some good music, and then and a nice tent. What is the minimum in pixels?
When I first shot digital, I was told by the magazine of the day that they needed 6 megapixel for a cover. That's all I needed. I don't think you'll get away with that today. But I'd be happy. I'd be still happy. I could still easily shoot the Sony A7s, what we're recording on now. I'd be happy to shoot something as a campaign shot with that. 12 megapixel, use 4 times interpolation, it's now 48 megapixel. But most of the clients, what they're using, the 12 megapixels all they need. And like I said, I don't tend to crop, so I'm using every little bit of it. The pixel war is just, this is how Canon and Nikon and Sony sell cameras. Keep talking you into more pixels. It's the only thing I can offer you. Sharp, pixels, autofocus. Now they're going to have AI stuff come in. Because otherwise all the cameras are the same.
The same, yeah, exactly. What are you using for video editing?
Video editing, I like Final Cut Pro, but it's a tool that my brain relates to.
I find it so easy to use as well.
Other people like Premiere.
Yeah. I taught myself Final Cut.
Well, I used to use Premiere back when I was doing some video in the fishing industry, and I hated it back then. The render time and things like that were horrendous. Absolutely hated it. when I got back into video editing, so I went from there to Final Cut 7, which was incredible. Then when I went to Final Cut 10 Pro X, lots of people bailed because it meant they need to relearn how to edit. I find it amazing. Magnetic timeline saves me so much time.
I do like the magnetic timeline. Beck, have I ever listened to Mute? I have not, but I will look them up.
I think I have.
I have not, but I'm going to look them up. Peter, do you typically aim a beauty dish at the centre of the face or feather it a bit?
No, I'm normally tilting it up or down because the dead centre of a beauty dish has got a blocker. So the brighter light is off, up, down or bottom. So if I'm shooting, say, Beck and she's got a low top with cleavage, I will point the centre at her chest to make her chest a little bit darker. Sorry, touching the microphone. A little bit darker, and the light will be up here and below. Or if I've got a problem with more light beam maybe on her belly because she hadn't exercised for 2 weeks and eaten pizza, I would tilt the light upwards so the bottom edge of the beauty dish was hitting her face. But yeah, I very rarely use the beauty dish dead straight into the face. It's normally turned to the chest or turned above the head.
Lucas says, loves me some Silverchair. Amazing bet. Silverchair are amazing.
They were really cool.
They were really good.
Australia's Nirvana.
Is it wine time in Melbourne? It's
always
always wine time when I'm around.
Beck's always whining.
Chris would like to know what are a couple of your favourite themes that you will photograph this year.
Themes?
Yeah.
I want to go back to Naked in the Streets because I really enjoy that. I like doing it in the studio.
It's died.
What's died?
The camera.
The camera's died or you've died?
No, the camera's died. How could the camera die?
overheated? Maybe it's been on too long. Just wait. Don't.
I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Our audio is still working, but our camera's... I'm sorry, guys.
Maybe battery is. Maybe this battery. This is still at 100%.
Oh, wait. It's showing now.
Hang on a minute.
No, we're back.
We're back?
Yeah. I don't know what you did. Oh, no, now we're gone again. Peter, what are you doing? Says no signal.
Hang on, just wait a minute. Has that fixed it?
No. Yes.
Right. Do you know why it did that?
No.
You didn't plug the battery in. We flattened the battery in the phone.
I didn't. You're the one who set the camera up. Try
I'm
and
blaming you.
Blame me, he's.
Blaming you, who's? I might just. You can keep talking. We might just lose picture again. I'm just going to swap out the battery in the Sony.
I'm getting all these flashbacks of when we did live streams. And
This is why you don't like doing live streams.
It stresses me out. It's just,
this
gives me wrinkles.
Beck's just getting naked at the moment, so I've turned the camera off. And now I can't get battery in hole.
Oh my God.
She just gave birth. Oops, door shut off.
I'm sorry for these technical difficulties, everyone.
It's all right. No, it's only because that, for some reason, has got unplugged.
Okay,
So we've just run that battery dead flat, so you should have me.
We're back.
So we would have had sound over all that time.
We did.
You got your clothes back on. Well done, Beck.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm missing. What's happened to me? I can't see me.
You'll be back in it. No,
Oh,
see, there you are.
Here we go.
This is delayed.
Did you see how she panicked? She's so funny when Beck panics.
It's not funny.
It is funny.
It's not.
Next question.
Next
We're
question.
past that.
Well, everyone was laughing at me farting, so that's how far behind we are. Where do you... Well, you ram... Oh, shut up. Where do you fall in this sharpness spectrum? Tongue twister. In other words, do you think modern lenses are too clinically sharp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're way too sharp. I do this talk a lot at workshops. If you think about it carefully, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, portrait photographers were doing things like putting Vaseline on lenses and pulling stockings over lenses. when digital first came out, people were going into Photoshop and putting a blur filter over the picture and then painting a mask on the eyes and lips, most disgusting look ever. But that's what they were doing to take the sharpness off skin. There's different sharpnesses for different reasons. So when we're working with still life and like shooting watches and jewelry and certain landscape and this, we want nice and sharp. The problem is camera companies are now cheating because we cannot make glass any sharper than real life. So, and that's one of the things I normally do if I'm editing. If I put my hand up to the screen and the screen is sharper than what I can see on my hand, it means that it has had a sharpening put on there, which is not natural. One of my hates for Hasselblad is there's a built-in sharpen in their new camera, the X2, and I've been told no, there isn't. Well, sorry, I've done heaps of checks and there 100% is. And if you look at the Carl Taylor review, he's shooting some handbags at the end, comparing with the H6D and the new camera, and he's talking about how much sharper the new camera is. But if you look at those pictures seriously with eyes, you'll go, that looks like beautiful leather, that looks like plastic, because it was over sharpened, didn't feel real. So I am 100%, I don't use sharpening anywhere in my workflow. When I import images, sharpening is turned off. I have an action for Lightroom, which is called no sharp, which means when I import, I have my no sharp on, it turns sharpening off. With my Hasselblad, it is permanently off. I don't sharpen any of my work until it comes to export at the size it's going to be used. So my layered TIFF, after I finish doing a retouch, my pictures aren't cropped and they're not sharpened. They get saved off as a layered TIFF or a PSD. When I then the client comes back and says, we want to use this image and we need it cropped like this and we're going to use it on the web, I will resize that image, I'll crop it to how they need it, and I will sharpen to make the picture look the same on my screen as what will happen when it goes to the web. We'll lose a little bit. If I'm going to print, I'm going to sharpen, is this going to matte paper or gloss paper? Is this going on canvas? And it's not to make it sharper than the original, it's just to bring it back to what the original looks like. That's the only time I sharpen. I've never had a client ever say to me, it's not sharp enough. Never, ever.
Especially models with skin.
No, but even with birch, where the wool, all the wool shoots and that, there's no sharpening on any of that.
Yeah.
And I had the comment from a while ago that the retoucher love it because wool just looks natural, where some of their in-house shots have been doing, they said it looks like, they said the wool looks like nylon. It looks like plastic because they've got an over-sharpening on whatever they're using. Anyway.
Harry wants to know, do you charge differently for production and planning as opposed to shooting and editing in your day rate? Yes, if you're being art director.
Yes. So if I'm going to be art director, my hourly rate goes up. So I think what my hourly rate, day rate's what, 3,000 for me as a button pusher, which we don't even do anymore. And to be me, art director, I'm 5. So it's just that, it's that straight, fixed rate.
Do you print or do you make your own t-shirts? We get them printed by a company here in Melbourne. They've got their website's not the easiest to use, but it's pretty straightforward, and you just select the t-shirt, upload the photo, they print it, they send it out.
Yeah, and do one-off price or 20 at the same price.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a client who had a t-shirt printer and they put it in my studio to do some stuff with me. And it was a pain in the ass because it had to be printed every day, otherwise it clogged. And it took about 2 days to get something unclogged on it. But yeah, what are they called? Just
T-junction.
T-junction. Yeah, they're really easy to use. I'm certain there's countries around the world like them. They're just really simple.
Where was it? Do you have Peter, do you have a standard color temperature for lighting? Do you need to calibrate your lights so they are the same temperature? Does anyone using LED?
All right, so a lot of my work is black and white. If I'm mixing LED with ambient light, I'm normally trying to get them on a similar color temperature. I just use my eyes. So all I do is I'm looking at the scenery, and as I turn up the power and get the power sort of balanced so I can see a bit of natural light as well as a little bit of ambient light as well as some LED light, then I'll start rolling with the color temperature till I find my light isn't changing the color temperature of the scene. If I am going to shoot in color and I'm using LEDs and that, I'll quite often set up for a cinematography type of look. So I'll just do my color temperatures again by eye. I'll look at, maybe I'll make the model a little bit more orange and maybe I'll make the background a bit cool. And there's your teal and orange look, or so forth. Fashion is normally quite cold. So quite often if I'm shooting a fashion thing, I might go a little bit cold because it's bitchy, a little bitchy. Well, although fashion's gone tan. Oh, no, what's all? No, khaki, beige. Yeah, fashion now is very beige. Look at Zara. Look at very beige.
Oh my god, I have the funniest thing to show you from Zara. It was obviously a thing I found on TikTok, but someone was on their website and it was like obviously just Ecamm, like selling jeans. The girl's not even wearing them. Like she had them like draped over her shoulders or was like holding them up, and I'm like, this is not helping anyone. This is ridiculous. Like that's not fashion. That's trying to be edgy and cool and being like, oh, they're jeans, but I'm not actually wearing it. It's cringeworthy. Anyway, sorry, I'm derailing.
Was it a Kardashian?
No, it wasn't. It was just cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Ian, for the super thanks.
Oh,
I know.
That means you get to drink for another week. Beck needs it, but she still has to fix her TV and her PlayStation.
No, they've been fixed.
You know, we got to pay the bill. Oh, and then you're
It's
buying a
already
new
paid.
cat.
I've already bought it.
You paid for it?
Yeah, I
in
paid
full?
for him. Yeah, I paid for him. I get a new cat. He's coming home on Monday. I think I'm going to call
It's the
him
end of work.
Grim. You heard it here first. I think his name's going to be Grim.
Grim.
I think it's a cool
How do
name.
you know it's a he?
Because he's getting his
No,
balls
it's a
cut off.
they.
He got his balls cut off yesterday.
Yeah, so it's not him anymore. It's a they, them. You got a them cat.
A them cat.
Maybe you should call it them.
Someone would like us to do another video of me taking your photo.
But she's
'Cause-
learned my tricks now.
Yes, so I think the model has already learnt something more. No, I still don't know if I could.
I'm happy to do it.
I'm still useless. We can try again though. It'd be funny. I feel like, but the thing is, Peter's a
What's it
difficult.
mean?
It's huh?
Nothing. I'm difficult.
You're
Oh, thank you.
difficult. Because you purposefully sit there and cross your arms and look all
Yeah,
grumpy.
because you're other people sit in front of cameras very uncomfortable. They're not purposely doing it. It's up to you to make me not. No, not that. Why do you always have to take things down that way?
I don't.
You do.
Everyone laughed at us during our
blackout.
downtime. Yep.
Our blackout.
Yep. All right. Sorry, guys.
Well,
Okay,
that was
we're
the
back.
COVID moment, so that's over numbered.
Anyways, we're back. Ed's bummed because he missed my NFTs. Yes, sorry for doing my only farts for the NFTs. My lonely clams.
Swollen glands.
Utopic Dystopia gave us another super thanks, so thank you so much. Honestly, like really appreciate it. We just do this stuff to talk to you guys. It's fun.
And I do it myself. I have given the odd person a pretty big. I'm not asking for this for any of you guys, but I know that even with the site we were talking about before, the gene.
Yeah, the
whatever,
model
I'm
review
gonna-
guy.
It's like to do YouTubes and things like that takes so much of your time, and people don't realize how many views you actually have to have even to make $1. Like it's really hard work. If you're a Peter McKinnon or one of those, I'm not dishing on them, they're pretty much their channel's paid for because everything they do is an ad for somebody and they've got affiliates and that. But for the people who are starting out don't have that. And it's tough. So that's where the super thanks are good. And Beck and I do appreciate it because we both work really hard.
Well, Utopic Dystopia said it's for my wine cellar.
All right, cool.
Chris wants to know how many babies is it for me now? At least. Wait, I mean, we're talking about a cat?
No, wine babies. No one know how many kids you've had now.
At least 6.
At least 6.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
why I'm so out of shape. I should really.
And the other thing, and this isn't, I'm not asking this for us because we're not like that. We don't, I don't know if you noticed, we don't run any affiliates. We don't take anybody's ads. We've got lots of people who offer us.
The
it,
amount of
but-
emails, and I have to look at them and be like,
Yeah, it's not us. We don't do that.
Imagine,
Every
like, there
now
was-
and then.
Someone sent us an email asking us to do a dedicated video for some like journal planning thing. And they wanted like a full dedicated video. Could you imagine if Peter did like this video being like,
I wouldn't be able to
this
even
is
read
my-
a journal. Do they have it in Braille? No. No, but the thing is, and the reason I do my super thanks to other people is that I'm happy to pay for something that makes my life better.
Yeah.
So I have no problems of if with music. I've always bought music, and I've got thousands of DVDs and stuff in the house, and now I tend to buy movies through Apple and things like that.
Jeff just sent $10 saying
Oh,
another glass of wine
Wine.
back.
guys, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are so sweet. That's nice.
No, this is good. So, what's the most expensive drug on the market?
I don't know.
Would be heroin or coke? What would be the most expensive? So Beck's now a heroin addict. It cost me $380 a minute to get. No, I'm joking.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Get back to questions, please.
We'll get back to questions.
Chris would like to know, naked on the streets, what else for 2024?
I would like to get some more crying shots back, but I just don't have the model, so I'm comfortable can give me real tears.
I could probably cry.
I could get you to cry now. It's really easy. You're about to have another baby.
Probably I'm an ugly crier.
Yeah, no, I could most likely go there again. There's a few of my series I want to finish off because some of my messed up work I want to finish. Some mirrors I want to finish. There's some series I do want to finish, and I don't tend to look so much. I've just got these series I've been working on forever, like my toilet shots. I just got to find better toilets. I want to find some different toilets.
Toilet shot.
I don't know, but it's famous. I look at so many famous so many of my favourite models that have got shots on toilet. Kate Moss has got 5 or 6. Naomi Campbell's got at least 5 or 6. Elle Macpherson, there's all these, and there's just something about the inelegance of a famous person sitting on a toilet.
You know, Maya Stepper?
Yeah.
She posted a really cool one of her sitting on the toilet, but she's wearing like a blazer on top, and she was reading something because she's in the toilet, and it's like full length, and you can like see her undies, like her pants or undies down. But it was just the way that she captioned it, business casual, because she was like wearing a
Doing her
blazer and
business.
reading, and she had sunglasses on, so she was like business, but she was like,
Yes, she's got that attitude that would work really, really
and it was
well.
just the caption of business casual that I was like, slay, loved that.
I know. Yeah, I do want to do more model videos too, where I'm just videoing a model and trying
then
to
putting
capture
it
the essence of the model while I'm videoing. But they do take the video doesn't take that long at all normally. It's only normally 10 minutes of videoing. So I've normally got them into a mood by the time I start videoing.
If not
But the
starting
editing
videoing.
can take up to 40 hours by the time I write the music and do all the rest of the stuff.
Leo would like Dave said first that the rig with the 7 artisans and the Sony 6400 models love the pics off that thing. I think, yeah, because it's not like super sharp or anything.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a good combo. And then Leo asked, do you have any workarounds for 2 sharp lenses and cameras adding extra sharpening in post?
My only workarounds for those is because I shoot manual a lot, I can just slightly defocus a fraction. So if it is feeling too sharp, I will tend to defocus a fraction. Other little tricks is slow down your shutter speed so you get a tiny bit of motion blur. That's not going to work with flash because the flash will freeze.
Yeah.
But if you look at a lot of like Peter Lindbergh especially, there's a lot of his work which has a slower, you'll see it's very slight motion blur. That's normally a really good way of just softening off the picture fraction. You've got to learn the lens and how quick the model's moving, and you've got to also realize if your camera has stabilization, you might need to be even a fraction slower again. So you've taken out your shake, but you've kept the movement shake of the model. I'd say, don't use sharp lenses. Find like my 70. Find a lens that gives you the look you want, and even though it does, I can focus it sharp. It's just not razor sharp, and that's why I like it.
Any
demist filters, they're another one, but I don't like putting any glass over glass. So yeah.
Ronald would like to know if there's any plans for workshops in Japan. I would love to go to Japan.
So would I. We just don't have
might
it.
Kill me.
Oh, bad luck. We just don't have any contacts there. But yeah, no,
I'd love to
you
go
know
to
you've got to
Japan.
wear masks on the plane, though.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Surely not.
Yes, 100%.
My soon-to-be brother-in-law is about home. I'll ask him.
Well, a friend of mine who's an air hostess says you still have to
Well,
wear
I'm sure
masks.
people will now be commenting, but I'm not up to that because we've.
Right.
People are saying to call my cat Peter. I called my mum and told her I'm going to call him Gail after my mum. She politely told me to F off.
Well, it's a male cat without balls. Is that what you're saying? It's about your mum?
Jeff wants to know about the idea of us two playing backgammon on YouTube.
Oh yeah, someone asked us to play chess.
Yeah, that was Jeff.
Oh, that was Jeff. Well, I'm not a good chess player.
I have no idea how to, and I'm way too dumb to understand how
Well,
to.
see, I like backgammon,
I've
but
got
I
no
know
idea how to
Becca's
play
got
it.
no idea, so I'll just win.
Is it possible for me to make my own wine on a small scale?
Yes.
My
It is. You can buy the wine kit.
well, also my dad used to maybe or may
No, he was doing beer, wasn't he?
No, he did wine as well.
Oh, did he?
When we were living in a country where it's illegal to make
Oh, that's right.
Dad
Was that just to keep you alive?
No, I was like a child, but it was,
I know,
to,
but
no, it was
isn't
keep
that when
him
you
and mum.
started?
Keep him and mum alive. But no, my dad actually does know how to make alcohol, so he could probably teach me, and I could probably make my own wine. Problem is, I couldn't be able to drink it.
You wouldn't be able to what?
Drink it. I'd have to sell it. The restraint I would have to exercise, not being able to drink it. I'm joking. I'm fine.
It would never make it to the bottle.
When you plan your US dates, just make sure that your US tour isn't done before our election.
Yes,
Yes,
we
no,
are
we are.
very careful of that. We're going to definitely make sure that we are back in Australia before the election. Otherwise, yeah, because we know it gets pretty
Yes.
crazy. We don't want to be caught up.
But it's a shame. I really find it a shame. America's bigger than that. Like it shouldn't be for that.
And Topic Dystopia said that we inspired them to pursue their photography passion, was too scared, but now they make a living off of it. And gave us another super thanks.
Oh. I'm getting embarrassed now. It's not.
Wow.
We shouldn't have mentioned.
We
super
shouldn't have
thanks.
mentioned it, but okay. Peter and Beck, do you have to have a feel when taking pictures, or it goes away with experience? Personally, I feel if I feel crap, I take crappy pictures. Absolutely. If I'm not
100%.
If I'm not in the mood, it just feels like a waste of time.
100%.
I need to go into a shoot absolutely being down to make something. Otherwise, it's just like a chore.
Yeah. No, especially for the model. But it works. You've seen me when I'm just not getting it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take crappy pictures on those days because I'm not saying the things I need to say to take it to the next level.
And also because you're in a bad mood, you're seeing everything in a bad light. So
Yeah.
even though you're taking photos and you might be when you're in a great mood, you look at them and they're great photos, but at the time you're in a crap mood and you're looking at them and you're like, this is shit. Everything's shit. And then you get all...
I've been there before.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Where was I? Sorry, jumped.
jumped.
You're always quoting the old school models like Naomi and Kate. What's your take on newer models?
What new models?
Victoria, who you follow.
Victoria, yes. No, Victoria. Yeah, no, there is. So
M.
don't get me
Rada?
wrong. M. Rada. Well, she's not that new. She's getting on a bit now, but she's new into fashion.
Barbara.
Barbara. Well, I've seen more of her since you mentioned. I did a bit of a look and didn't, because she hasn't been doing. For some reason, she doesn't come on my radar very often. She comes up on my Twitter or X.
Barbara's like my new Adriana.
Well, like Taylor Hill's another one that
Taylor Hill.
I like.
Yeah, you liked it, but then I showed you her recent haircut, and I was like,
yeah.
and you loved that because it's very Linda
Yeah,
eventually.
no, I did like that. There's a couple of the new Sudanese models that are freaking amazing. There is new models. It's just when you won't see them in the mainstream. You'll only see them on the high-end fashion and like that site that I've just the YouTube
The
channel.
one you've been plugging this entire live stream.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna have to come on and give us a super thanks. No, I don't want that. Yeah, but it's all my doors to incredible fashion slowly closed over the years, and even things like models.com, I used to freaking love that site, and it just seems like there's advertising and wokeness to what they're putting up now.
Right, but
It seems like
also,
unless you're this magazine, you're not going to get mentioned. Bella Hadid has got better, but I still do not see her as a supermodel. She can now catwalk properly. She has a nice catwalk now, but I still find
she has one face
she has only the one face, and
because it was surgically crafted.
well, it's
I'm sounding like a bitch now.
you are so bitch. I know this. There is a lot. The thing that annoys me is the surnames of the models coming up in the ranks. Right. So as soon as you start mentioning the surname, you know their mother was a model, or their mother or father was an actor or a singer or famous, and that's the only way they're there. Where as I look at a lot of these named people and thinking, if they didn't have a surname as Moss, would have they even got ever the opportunity to shoot any of that stuff?
No.
And I think
No.
I think that's the big difference. I'm still on the belief of I was lucky enough to know some models that did extremely well in this world before they were even known. And they deserve to be where they are because their looks were incredible and who they were came out with the way they stood and everything. Like Anya, right? So I met her when she was like 16 or 17. You look at people like Gemma Ward, the early Gemma Ward. You know, all of those things, that's what the supermodels should be. It shouldn't be influencers, and still unfortunately too many covers of magazines are celebrities. Either singers, musicians, movie stars, influencers. They're not just people that this is their profession, this is what they do really well because they have a look which is so unique, people love it, like a Kate Moss, like a Naomi Campbell. Who else walks like Naomi Campbell? Who else has the eyes of Adriana Lima?
Barbara's getting there. Anyway, we're
All right,
rambling because we need to cut this out because we've been going for 2 hours now.
all right, so hurry up and go through.
Well, I will.
So you should have a question ready.
No, well, it was,
Oh,
and then
I
it
did
jumped.
It jumped.
Oh, where was I? There I was. Have we decided on which city we'll be doing our week-long workshop in America?
Eatonton.
Yeah, Eatonton. We've
Yep.
got great contacts there. We've got studios, some great locations. So
Yep.
we're doing a 5-day there. We just don't have dates
Yep.
just yet. Peter, are you interested in creating a fashion film like Nick Knight?
Yeah, I love fashion films at the moment, don't have time.
Fair enough. And opinion about AI, we've answered that.
Yep.
And
AI will never affect me because it will never do what I like, and as soon as I see AI, it looks like AI. It's like watching a movie, you see CGI at the second it starts, and my brain just turns off and goes fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing. I caught up quickly.
Really? What's it? Isn't that a sidebar?
Yeah, but it's not questions. I mean, you told me.
Isn't that a question there?
Where?
Isn't that a question? Isn't that
When
a
you
question?
see AI generated photos of late.
Oh, sorry.
is-
I thought that was the bar, not that.
Yes.
Sorry, so I didn't realise. Sorry, so go through the
Oh,
last
just
one.
criticise me
Oh, well,
for doing my job correctly.
no, you haven't finished your wine yet, so hurry up.
When you see AI generated photos of late, is there anything Peter sees right away that makes him think that's fake because of this and that, knowing the cameras can't do that? It's the hands for me.
I don't always pick AI, but some of my most hated photography and retouching looks like AI. So that's where I see AI is copying.
AI.
That's what's AI.
Sound like you said AA.
AI. No, that's where we're taking you next. Yeah. So there's all been a look for a few years, maybe the last 10 years, which is that plastic fantastic. There's like the people that use things like frequency separation, things like that on skin. That look is what AI is copying. And it's just that look, the eyes that look like marbles, because eyes do not have those colours. Can't be that contrast, but the rest of the face is in contrast. All of those type of things, of that retouching to make things you go, oh wow. You go into a TV shop and you see all these pictures of these beautiful sceneries going, I would love to go there. I've never seen colours like that in the scenery. And if you went there, you go, oh, they're not those colours anyway. All of that stuff that doesn't feel natural, and not unfortunately, it's good. AI is being used more to that fake look than the real look. Oversharped, oversaturated. Not enough alcohol.
Alright,
What are you?
so
Or you were to burp?
no. It was the chair. No, it was definitely the chair before though. What? Don't look at me like that.
The next time we do a live stream, I'm going to put a microphone on the chair for everyone's.
It was the chair, I promise you.
I think it was the coconut and jam biscuit.
It was the chair. Aside from that, were you the first to shoot Mika Woolard? No, she's been modelling since she was 3.
Yep.
She's about to turn 20.
I know. If anything, I only tended to shoot her like once a year because
You don't
it's
like
not.
shooting
It's not my brand.
children. It's not.
Like, but it's not my brand. I don't. Although I'm happy to make, say, a 16-year-old girl look like she's 20 than making a 20-year-old girl look like she's 16.
Correct.
So from that side of things, but I'm still. My photos are more aimed at a woman, not a girl, and I'd rather. And Beck knows I like powerful, strong women. And Mika at 14 was not a powerful, strong woman.
No, she was a little girl.
Yeah. Love her bits and got some nice photos, but it's just not my jam.
It's not your jam. It's not your coconut and jam slice.
Yes.
One last question from Lucas is, remember when you said you used to use Canon, were there any vintage lenses or lenses in general that you found work with your style or liked?
With Canon? Mm-hmm. Well, they've got their dream lens. I have a 50mm, I think it's f1 or 1.2, which is really, really soft and really dreamy, shot fully wide open, but I don't use it. Again, this comes down to style. I'm always looking for really cool stuff, and when I find certain YouTube pages, there's not many, but there's a few, that when they do lens reviews, you can actually look at their lens review and say, oh, that lens would suit me. Because they're showing real life pictures, not just showing graphs. They're not going so much into the pixel peeping. They're showing you a comparison of these 3 lenses, and you see, oh, look at the vignette coming on that lens. I really like that vignette, or like, I like the shape of the bokeh balls, or I like whatever. So Matt is one of the people that, especially because there's so many Leica and Voigtlander in those lenses. But that said, I bought a lens based on what I saw on his channel and had it on my camera for 10 minutes and have never used it. I think I've got it on sale on eBay at the moment, because even though it sort of had a look I liked, I didn't like it in my hand. The focus ring and the aperture, it just, I know, it's really hard. It's this thing where everyone has their own tastes. And
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Everyone's talking about how much they love Linda Evangelista. I'm going to be very outlandish and say...
I even found a following page now.
Something
Oh no, you don't like her.
No, it's not that I don't like her. I just think
She's
there's...
gorgeous.
She's pretty. I just think there's better models. I don't know. She's just not my favourite. And if... Have we guys made any progress on a volley replacement? Yes, we do now have a Skype channel for
We
those.
did.
For those that are on Inspire, we now do have a Skype group if you're on Inspire, but we thought we would get notifications and didn't
For
get
some
any.
reason it got cut off. So we just thought nobody was using it, but it's
Turns
messages.
out we didn't reply.
Well,
for
one
2 weeks.
person seen the reply. I actually
yeah,
saw
that's
someone did.
Anyway, we do have a. That's
So anybody on our platform,
anyone on
you've
Inspire.
got a
we've
video.
got yeah, you can go
And
to
it was
Skype
just
and
called
use
Skype,
videos.
is it?
It's just Skype. Just
No,
regular
but I
old
mean
Skype.
the label on the video, so they know what to do. Right. So yeah, that's just an in-house one.
Okay, finally, Chris wants to know, how did you like the work of the late Herb Ritz?
I love Herbert's. But see, all of those, and there's some really good documentaries on YouTube, which I've been telling Beck, just watched some of them recently. Photographers that I'd already made up my mind the photographer a certain way, then watch a documentary and go, oh my God, I was so wrong about this. But Herb Ritz, Irving Penn, Avedon, of course. Then you go back to the Baileys, Duffy, those English guys. You look at their work and look what they were shooting with and look what they achieved. Absolutely amazing. Most of them still have more skill than photographers today.
We really need to stop, but we just got another question. What's the best and worst thing about being a model? And Peter, what's the best and worst thing about being a photographer?
And you can answer yours.
I don't know. I have to think about it. This is a
No,
problem.
no, mine's easy.
Well, then you go.
If I'm a painter, I can do whatever I like.
Mm.
If I'm a photographer, I've got to put up with other people and their thoughts and their interests, and then them changing their mind to what they like today. Then 5 years later, going, oh, I don't like that anymore. Can you pull it down? Right, which as an artist you would never get.
Right.
And for me to be able to create, I have to work with somebody else. And if their life and that changes,
The little
right,
dog
so you
was
can answer
smiling
yours.
at me. So my best part of being a model is all the different people I get to meet, and when you meet someone awesome and you do an awesome shoot and you get some photos that you both collaborate on and everyone's happy, that to me is the best. The worst is being disrespected.
or
Yeah.
treated like me.
Yeah. Just treated like a second grade, oh, you're just here to be the model, no one cares about you, you just completely get disrespected in any which way or form. That's the worst. But no, the best is when it works and the collaboration, you get to meet awesome people. And
Yeah, well, same here. The best is when I am with a model that I click with and we create the vision I was trying to create. So there's certain models, especially like Anne and Shay, because we can just do whatever. It works. Not saying that you don't, but you know what I mean.
no, I completely know what you mean.
Beck's seen Anne and I, or Shay and I work.
Yes, we have Doggo. This is Bella. This is the little Ratsky. See, she does dances. We've been doing this for 2 hours now. I think we said that we weren't going to keep it going too long. So, shall we
Yeah, it's up to you. You're the
skedaddle?
boss.
Well, I'm very sorry. If you guys have any questions that we didn't answer and you do want to ask us questions, you can send us an email or drop a comment.
Or people can still ask questions, so we can answer them on
yeah, leave a
afterwards.
comment.
Yeah, just leave a comment, and even people who aren't watching it live can still leave comments and we'll answer. Beck looks at every second question, so.
But we must go because I have work to do. I haven't done all of my emails today, and it's kind of stressing me out. Stress head. Oh my god! Someone said before when it all went black out, they were like, "Oh, it's workshop stress, Beck." I was like,
Oh, so they've been to a workshop and seen your stress.
I would never stress. Anyway, I would, and
And
I think we'll do another one of these soon, though.
we
I
will
think this
do
has
it.
been
we
fun.
will do it soon. So
This is fun. I really like
and
this.
this
It's
is
fun
easier
talking.
than the old system we did with multi-cameras and shit.
Yeah, but this is easier just sitting here talking to you guys.
And
Thanks for spending time with us.
And thanks for your support. Really, really appreciate
Honestly, thank you so
all
much.
the support we get off everyone. We just, yeah, I can't thank you enough. It makes us fluffy
It does. It's cute.
and big farts.
Oh, shut up. But then we got all embarrassed and then we're like,
I know. Yeah, that's why I'm not asking it for me, but
No,
it is
I know.
something I
But
do.
it is really sweet. We do
Yeah,
really
we
appreciate
do
it.
appreciate it.
Thanks for chatting with us. Thanks for hanging with us. We will see you guys again.
Maybe in a month.
Maybe next month.
Yeah, cool.
Have a good one. Bye.